Stage project is a really exciting enterprise in which we are capturing theater history, actual events, people, things that happened in the past, whether the individual's talking about themselves acting, working in a production, or whatever, every aspect of theater history.
Dad was from the community of Beetaloo on Beetaloo Island,
okay.
Which was a community that he left because there was sort of a self-resettlement of that community. A lot of the communities on that island, because I think there was 4 or 5 communities, were leaving sort of their own volition. They weren't forced out or anything. And so he left, I guess, in about 52, 53, somewhere around that, because he wasn't in St. Jack's very long. He'd bought a house and had moved his mother.
Okay.
And brought a man who at that point was in his 80s to live with them also. So he actually took the 2 elderly people that were his neighbors, and while he was living with his mom, I guess, at home, because he wasn't married yet.
Okay.
And took them back to live with him in St. Jack's. And my mom married into a full house.
We relaunched this relatively recently for several reasons. One, it just basically we'd stopped doing it. And we wanted to get resources and get going again. But the big thing we've changed this time, which I'm really excited about, is in the past, and we're going back, decades, we were doing this. Of course, people were being interviewed. Now we're filming them, and I'm really excited about that because, of course, it's really exciting to be able to listen to someone basically recall or talk about a production, and then we have the paper record of that as well. But now, in the future from now on, you'll actually be able to sit down and watch and listen to them talking about their past.
All around Newfoundland and Labrador, we toured with this show, both shows, in the back of the van. 2 vans, one with the set and one with the actors and the mattress in the back of the van. I think that's the way it went. Sometimes we had seats, sometimes we didn't, depending on if we had to get to the next show.
We're really fortunate that we have the opportunity to hire undergraduate students to work on the project. And of course, they get turned on by the whole process of learning how to run a camera. They then have to go and research who they're going to be interviewing. And then, of course, they interact with the individual in terms of the interviewing. So it's kind of a win-win situation from the student point of view as well, because they are they have a whole new area of the community being opened up to them.
We had this, and again, it was a stage direction that I was supposed to light Maisie on fire. So we were trying to figure out how to fake it. And so she's wearing a lab coat over her clothes because she was trying to pull my tooth. Okay. It's a thing, right? And I didn't want her to, and I was this sort of crazy chick. So somehow or other, I think someone gave me a candle, or I grabbed a candle or something, and while she's got me down on the couch and she's pulling my teeth, I would lower the candle down and light her lab coat on fire. So we're trying to figure out how to make it look like it was lighting her on fire. So we did all this, running things along the floor to make smoke come up, and trying to get the smoke, right? And so finally, Mary had the idea to use smoke in a can. Okay. So we got it. We're backstage, and we're getting ready to try this out. And we laid it down on the little heater thing backstage, and I went, "Oh no, don't put it there. It's flammable. You can't put it on the heater." So we took it off the heater, even though the heater was turned off, and we strapped it to Maisie, strapped it onto her back, at the small of her back, put the lab coat on, and went out on the stage, and we tried it. And when the idea was, when I went down with the candle, Maisie would go, "Oh," like that, and she would spray the smoke, and it would come out, and it would look like she was on fire. But of course, when she actually did that, the aerosol liquid soaked the back of her lab coat, because it was under the lab coat, so it soaked the back of her lab coat, and the lab coat just went, whoo! And God love Mike Wade, he jumped into action, and he just grabbed it, and buttons went everywhere. He just grabbed her from behind and went, whoo, like that, and threw her down on me, and we just rolled her out, because we would have all died.
This project is basically happening right now with myself, Dr. Rob Ormsby, and Colleen Quigley from the library. The 3 of us are running it. We're fortunate to have a graduate student, Tom Halford, who is basically running the students, and we have 3 undergraduate students working with us. So it's a little team here working on gathering these important memories.